So I got a little extract from my book. Think of this like a teaser trailer. You know, like 3-4 months before that new Terminator movie is about to come out. They show you all the best bits, get you intrigued, make you want to go to the cinema and watch the film. Well, this is like my version of a teaser trailer. Let me give you an extract from my book. I lived in a poor area. Came from a poor family. I was forced to become an entrepreneur in school because my mother couldn't afford to give me pocket money. I became a black belt in Taekwondo. Unfortunately, this didn't stop me from going down the wrong path. I was first arrested when I was 16 years old. I then got into a gang. I've had 100 fights. I've been ambushed and battered many times. I became a dealer. I survived prison. I've even survived being stabbed. I decided to turn my life around. I became an electrician and I excelled in that. I went to university where I started a vending machine business. Shortly after that, I bought my first house, but I weren't done there. Decided to buy a property in Egypt. What I've learned in life is that we all have a choice. If you decide to go down the wrong path, your life will be hell. Unlike many people, I take responsibility for my actions. When I was out doing crime, I never blamed it on the colour of my skin. That's what's wrong with people. They look for an excuse to justify bad behaviour, laziness, and failure. I'm now able to make something of myself because I've changed my mindset. The only person who was holding me back was me, nobody else. No government, no police, no white people. Me. I control my destiny. So back to the second sentence, where I said I came from a poor family. Guys, there's nothing wrong with coming from a poor family or being poor at any time in your life. As I said in that video about how the successful mind handles uncertain times, there's highs and lows. There are times where you're going to have lots of money, you'll be getting it in legally. I'm not talking about being a drug dealer or anything like that. You'll be earning lots of money, and there'll be times where money's just flying out the fucking window. Any of you lot old enough, you would have experienced a time when you might have got laid off from work, then your car breaks down, then this bill comes up, then that bill. You're like, what the f? All this just come up on. Shit happens. So if you're poor at one stage, it's not a problem. The problem is not wanting to do anything about it and or making excuses. I know people, they are poor. You are poor if your child has to eat free school meals. You are poor if you are on any kind of benefit. You sign on at the job centre. Or you can't afford to buy your child one brand new pair of trainers every month. Or if you got the people from fucking Bright House knocking on your door because you've missed your finance payments on that sofa you've been financing for 5 years, you're poor. The problem is there's people, they don't want to admit that they are poor. And that's a recipe to stay poor. There's no way you can improve your life if you cannot look in the mirror and identify the problems that you have. If you know you drink alcohol every single day and you can't depend on it, you are an alcoholic. If you wonder why you can't get out of bed and go to work on time, but you seem to be drinking every single night, that's the reason why you're an alcoholic. Take responsibility for your actions. It's fine being poor at some point in your life. That's okay. But the problem is when you don't identify or have the courage or balls to admit that you are poor. Because what you're saying is you don't want to identify that you've got a problem because you don't want to have to fix it. That's why many black people, they blame the color of their skin as to why they're not doing well. Because it's easier to make excuses. It's easier to tell their child, your life is going to be difficult because of the color of your skin. You know the parents who tell their children, yeah, you know, because you're black, you're going to have to work twice as hard, yeah, for half the results as a white person. 99.9% of those black people that talk like that, because there are some, the thing I don't understand, there's black people who are successful and made it and they still think like that. I'm thinking, what the fuck are you talking about? But 99.9% of those black people, the parents who talk like that, they have failed themselves and they haven't been able to identify why they have failed and not made nothing of themselves. So what they do is, it's almost like a coping mechanism. They tell their children, you're going to have it hard just like me. That's why I wasn't able to succeed. I wasn't able to succeed, so you won't be able to succeed. It's almost like they're coaching themselves. You know, sometimes I've seen like people on YouTube. Like there's one girl, I ain't going to say who she is, but there's one girl, right? Black girl, she sits in her car and she makes all these videos about self-care and self-love and all this stuff, and you know, how to not get played by men and stuff like that. I've seen the video. I don't watch her channel like that, but I've seen a couple of her videos, whatever, and it had a big following. She makes all these videos about how to find a man, how to not let a man disrespect you and take the piss, how to find love, all this kind of stuff. But every other video she's complaining that she's single. She's coaching herself. That's what she's doing. She's coaching herself. I ain't gonna say the person's name. You probably know who it is, but I ain't gonna say the person's name. But the person is coaching themselves. Those videos are. It's almost like a way for her to vent. Now, I don't want to make this video about her, but I'm just using that as an example. There's too many parents out here. This is so. All right, right now, I've pretty much finished my book. It just needs to be edited by someone. I need them to go through every single chapter that I wrote and just grammatically correct it. To make sure the past and present tenses are all correct and all that kind of stuff. I'm going to start working on my next book. It's going to be about people's mindsets, namely black people. I feel their minds have been programmed, brainwashed, whatever, poisoned, whatever you want to call it. Poisoned by themselves, poisoned by their peers, poisoned by the social media, poisoned by everything. So that's going to be my next book. I think, for me personally, I think life is it's just too simple. It's too simple. That's what I was saying about coming from a poor family and stuff like that. Black people, they want reparations. They think that if they get reparations, all order will be restored. Someone write down in the comment section below how reparations is going to help black people move forward. Black people do not need reparations via monetary value. We need reparations to our brains. If black people all got reparations and everything that was stolen was restored, that ain't gonna help nobody. The only thing that can help us is changing our mindset. It's the equivalent of giving a jackass who has no skills of being able to handle and save money, no concept of money, allowing that jackass to win the lottery. He's going to blow the money. How many people have you heard stories about that have won the lottery and they've blown the money? That's how I feel black people would react to reparations or whatever. It will just go to waste. We don't need reparations. We're in places, America, the UK, wherever in it, yeah? We've got equal opportunities. Yes, we have. Don't allow these new movements, far left people, everyone will fucking call themselves whatever, the media, all this government bullshit, to tell you that we ain't got equal opportunities. We have. The only time you don't have equal opportunities is when you believe you don't have equal opportunities. You will never succeed in life if you feel like you are born to fail. As I say it all the flipping time. If you've got good mental health, you don't have to be a brain surgeon. You don't even have to be smart. Just as long as you know how to read and write and count. You got good mental health and you got good physical health, there's no excuse to fail. There's no excuse to not make nothing of yourself. Anyway, back to my first point. There's nothing wrong with being poor. If you come from a poor family, you're poor at the moment, that's okay. The problem is when you don't identify that you're poor and you feel like it makes you less of a person to admit that you're poor. No, it makes you less of a person to not admit that you are poor and try and mask it up with flashy cars, nice clothes, when really and truly you know you're stressing at the end of the month. Not a problem to be poor. It's a problem to not take action and try to make yourself not poor. Stay wise.